8 faster than a speeding bullet ways to so dramatically increase sales and profits in any business, you may have some splaining to do. Hi, this is Glazer Kennedy Insider Circle Diamond member John Melly with important information for anyone who'd like to know how to speed up your pace of accomplishment to dramatically increase sales and profits in your business. If that's you, then carefully watch the rest of this presentation because the powerful information Dan Kennedy recently shared can literally transform your business and skyrocket your profits almost overnight. In fact, the few minutes it takes to watch this presentation could take as much as 25 years off your learning curve. If you need proof, here's what Gold member Ed Burton had to say about Dan. Quote, "I've slugged it out on the street selling to make a living. I knew there had to be a better way, and I looked and looked for 25 years. When I found Dan Kennedy and adopted his unique way, my business took off like a cat on a hot tin roof. This year alone, Dan Kennedy was responsible for adding more than $1 million to my income, and I never spoke to him." End quote. It may seem that Dan Kennedy is superhuman or secretly employs a sweatshop because he gets so much more accomplished than everyone else. But there are reasons why this is so, and strategies Dan has used to ensure this extreme high level of productivity and accomplishment. These strategies are known and shared by a number of the top-performing, top-earning entrepreneurs who are his private clients, who you hear and read about, as well as by high-visibility super-entrepreneurs like Donald Trump. If you're more than merely curious about all this and would like to significantly increase your own speed of accomplishment, then carefully watch the rest of this presentation. At the Glazer Kennedy Marketing and Money-Making Super Conference, Dan set out to present the most powerful breakthrough strategies that his clients and top GKIC members like Ed Burton use repeatedly, not just to rev up sales and profits in every imaginable kind of business, but to speed up their personal implementation of such strategies. That's a tall order because there are so many. Choosing the 8 best breakthrough strategies was very difficult and proved to be impossible for Dan to fit all 8 into only a 90-minute presentation. Still, it was an immensely valuable presentation that included illuminating the difference between the overwhelming majority of entrepreneurs and marketers stymied and sabotaged by lack of resources, by "I don't have the time, money, people to do that," versus those who implement good ideas one right after the other at high speed and high efficacy. Actually, there are 2 secrets about this, not just one. How to uncover the unintentional second business opportunity concealed within your present business. Dan gives an actual example with a member who was right there in the audience of this happening. And a brief conversation revealed an opportunity worth an extra $40,000 to $50,000 of 90% net profit dollars in a small local bricks and mortars business. What's important, of course, is the thinking process that led to that discovery, because it's applicable to your business too. A close-up look at how highly successful entrepreneurs react and act when confronted with a "no, you can't do that" obstacle. They react very differently, as the 2 true life stories Dan shares in this presentation demonstrates. And no, it's not as simple as persistence, or "if this door is closed, I'll find another one." It's more profound than that. If you get it, you'll have a new strategy to use each and every time you hear no. The Rudy Giuliani strategy for delivering the kind of wow experiences to prospects and customers and clients that erase price fee resistance and stimulate more repeat patronage and referrals. There's a secret to what he did for New York City that can easily, instantly, and cheaply be applied to any business to make it better, more attractive, more conducive to positive word-of-mouth marketing. The strategy can actually be summarized in one word, and it's a word that'll surprise you. The embarrassing renegade millionaire strategy that really separates little leaguers from big leaguers. This reveals why and how some people accomplish so much more, so much faster in their businesses than others. It's a little shift in thinking in the way you approach everything that yields very big changes. There's a secret to speed of accomplishment that virtually no time management expert or business coach understands, that super successful entrepreneurs are usually too embarrassed about to share. Not Dan, he's unembarrassable, so you'll hear it in this presentation. The Iacocca blowtorch strategy. Dan got to spend a few hours with Lee Iacocca a few years back when he was working on a Guthy-Renker project. Dan asked him a question about a specific story about him he'd read and heard repeated, and another question about his experiences rescuing Chrysler from the brink of extinction. He said the most important lesson demonstrated by the story, which is a true story, and his experiences, is to be found in what he did not say and what he did not do. Dan told the Super Conference audience all about it in this presentation. The right work strategy. No, hard work is not a success secret. The nation's full of good, honest, hardworking, but perpetually broke business owners, living day to day, struggling to meet payroll even after years in business. Most try working harder, just keel over sooner. Nope, not the answer, but trying not to work isn't an answer either. The most successful people in every category of endeavor, real estate, insurance, auto sales, restaurant ownership, entertainment, sports, they all work. It's not about more or less, or easier or harder work. It's about doing the right work, working on the right things. In this presentation, Dan talks about 2 types of work worthy of your time, talent, energy, and determination. Most business people are working really hard on the wrong work. Then they wonder why they aren't rewarded. This is like driving south really fast and wondering why you never got to the Northwoods in Maine. How to turn success into failure and prosperity into poverty every time. In this presentation, Dan reveals a truly amazing secret about every single one of his most successful clients. It's nearly at the end of the presentation. You can listen for it. It comes right before he quickly talks with one of his Gold VIP Millionaires group members, Ron Carruthers. The sentence he says has 12 words in it. It's a $1 million statement. If you want to know exactly what you must do with your business to sustain growth and success, here it is. This 12-word sentence delivers a mandate for success in business and reveals the #1 mistake that makes success brief and fleeting instead of constant. 2 critical questions to ask every week. These are very practical. At least once a week, you ought to sit down with yourself or your innermost inner circle of associates or advisors and discuss the newest answers to these 2 questions. Oh, and this presentation is a hell of a lot of fun. You'll hear the audience laughter. They certainly thought so. This is great automobile as classroom. Who cares if I'm stuck in traffic listening? With good, true life stories of famous and not famous people, funny moments, get off your duff motivation, as well as tough-minded, pragmatic, strategic business information. You'll want to listen at least several times and share with associates. If you look for sound bites to play at brainstorming, coaching, or staff meetings to trigger discussion, you'll find a number of those here. Try the Kenneth Cole story, the Rudy Giuliani strategy story, the George and the Stripper story. I've given you about half the highlights of this 90-minute presentation that Dan gave only once at the Super Conference and will not give again. Complete recordings of the Super Conference were not made available to anybody not in attendance. This is now Glazer Kennedy's standard policy about Super Conferences, which makes it very important to attend in person. So this presentation would be out of your reach were it not for Bill Glazer's decision to, at least temporarily, make it available as a separate 2-audio CD set, transcript of Dan's presentation, and a copy of Dan's overheads, all for just $197. Also in this presentation, Dan discusses something Andrew Carnegie believed, and in certain circles discussed, that Napoleon Hill chose not to highlight in any of his works, including Think and Grow Rich. Hill thought it would come across as elitist, imperial, and offensive, so he took it upon himself not to make it an 18th law of success. Had Carnegie been writing the book, certainly he would have included it. You'll find that Napoleon Hill's assessment of this idea was correct. It is offensive to most people, but nevertheless true. If you've studied the work of Dr. Gene Landrum, Carnegie's confession will not be surprising to you. Depending on your own present private philosophy, you may find it reassuring or liberating, or possibly even the trigger of a big breakthrough in your earning power. There's no risk at all because you're covered by Glazer Kennedy's no hassles, no questions money-back guarantee. If you're anything less than completely satisfied, you have a full year to return your copy of 8 Big Ideas for a full refund. And that's not all. If you're not already a Glazer Kennedy member, you'll have an opportunity to claim $633.91 worth of pure money-making information, including 2 free issues of the famous No BS marketing letter. We'll even add free shipping as our way of saying thank you for taking a 2-month test drive of Elite Gold membership. Don't let this unusual, frank, provocative presentation escape you. Get it now while you can by clicking on the bright Add to Cart button below right now.